Spoke about how this went on to affect you in terms of your response towards life. You feel that you at some point became bitter?
Very bitter.
Can you run us through that?
Okay, so while I was in school, Mrs. Jennifer said something. She said, it takes the grace
That's
of
my
God.
last guess.
Yes. She said, it takes the grace of God not to be wayward.
When a father is missing.
I wasn't wayward. I was very conscious. And my siblings, they knew God. So in the house, I wasn't used to watching Nollywood. It is teaching. White preachers, I could name all of them. I know their books because of my siblings, my brother most especially.
Yeah.
So we're always in the house watching, teaching from men of God and all. So it made me have a very strong principle. My principle was strong and was very rigid. Very, very rigid. So while I went to school, when a guy says, I like you, and does something very minimal, it is heavenly to me. Even if it's just the barest minimum, it is gold to me.
Wow.
So I was in school and in 100 level, and this guy came and he was like maybe 7 years older than I am. And he came, I like you, how can we have a relationship and all of that? And I said, okay, and that was how we started. He was very abusive. This guy beat Shege from my life.
In a relationship?
Yes, I was in 100 level. So he would beat me on the road, in a restaurant, in the school. He will come to my lodge. He will beat me in the lodge so much that, you know, this curtain handle, right? He will remove the curtain handle. He will use it to beat me. He beat me to a point that I broke my eyes. My eyes were blood clotted, and this place was so dark that I started
Were you
using
married
glasses.
to him?
No, I wasn't.
You were in a relationship?
In a relationship, yes. He would come to, maybe he calls, and he was in his family house with his mom and his siblings. Maybe he can just call me now, where are you? Or he sees a comment on my post on Facebook and a guy comments beautiful. And I reply, oh, thank you so much, dear. He will pick the next bike.
That.
Yes. We will pick bike to my lodge and he will beat me. He would beat me so much and injure me. So this was going on and I became popular.
For beating?
Yes. People knew what was happening. He would beat me. Until one day when his mom told me that if I know what is good for me, I should better go.
Wow.
I should go. He will beat me in the mom's presence. He will beat me in her presence.
And you had no one to report him to?
Nobody. I had a mentor, Dr. Kelechi Okoro. She's popular. I told her about it and she said I should come to Lokoja. I was in Aingba where my school is. So I went to Lokoja to meet her. I was in her house. And then she said, I'm giving you this money. Go to the police station in Aingba and go and report this guy so that they can get him arrested. I said, okay. She gave me the money. I came back to school and I gave him the money.
You gave him the money?
I gave him the money. We spent it together.
What was it like not having a family member you could tell?
I don't know, because, you know, we had no relationship. My siblings and I, there was no relationship, so I couldn't. In fact, my siblings will be hearing this for the first time. Yes. He beat me so much. In fact, I had scars, I had injury, and in fact, there was a time he kidnapped me and my friend, my roommate. He kidnapped us. We were in a place just because I said I was not interested anymore. He said she's the one leading me astray. He kidnapped the two of us with some cult-looking guys, kidnapped us in a room. They beat us, they slapped us, and then seized my phone and said, I want to go and meet someone else after all he has invested in me.
Investment of beating?
I don't know. And he says so.
You did it for how long?
I think 2 years. Yes.
Wow, now
Yes.
that's a long time.
Yes. So from day one of the relationship to the last day was beating. Maybe we can go 3 days without beating. And I'm not saying to spank me small, no, to kick me, to hit me. We'll go to a restaurant to eat and maybe I just say something. And the slap, it will beat me from there.
What do you think gave him the audacity to do that?
I think because he knew I had no one. He had observed and he had seen that I had no one to come to my aid at the time. We were always together and he knew that he had never seen daddy calling. You know, you can be beating somebody and you see the mom calling or the dad, and then the victim picks the call and say, "Daddy, somebody is beating me." There was nothing. There is no big bro calling or big sis coming or daddy or mommy or Uncle Peter or Uncle James calling. There was nobody. So he knew. He held me hostage for days. I can't move an inch. I can't do anything. So while that was happening, I started a foundation in school. I was barely 18 years old. I knew that I had a problem, and I knew that there were 1001 ladies in my shoe. So I picked cardboard papers and I wrote, "Say no to domestic violence. Say no to this, say no to that, say no to mental this." So I wrote it plenty, and then I went to meet girls. I said, "Please come, let's lift these placards, let's take pictures, let's protest, let's go on the road." And then they don't understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I started it with so much aggression in school.
Yeah.
I was barely 18.
Wow.
So we held the cardboards and we took it to the streets in school and we took pictures. I opened a Facebook page. I started writing. I was writing. I had a lot bottled up to say. Things that I couldn't tell my siblings. I was writing them, making it look like I was telling another person's story. At the time.
But you were telling your own story.
Yes, but I was telling my own story. What I experienced from my dad. It sounds really casual, right? But every single thing I went through is like I grew up with an emptiness inside of my soul. A very deep emptiness that you can't get through to me. We can have a conversation, but yes, you won't get through to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get through to me.
You've walled yourself.
Yes, exactly. And
Yes.
I was walking like somebody without shield, somebody without comfort. Like I was like an orphan. And then I had siblings that maybe they could stand like a mother or like a father. Nah, there was nothing like that because they had their own struggles they were going through.
They were going through. Yeah.
Different levels. They can
Yeah.
speak about their own experiences now as I'm doing, and I'll be like, okay, so this thing too was happening to you while I was going through my own.
Wow.
Yes, that was how it
Till
was.
today, your dad, did he ever find out that you dated a guy who was beating you like that?
No. We can never have such conversations. We can never.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
While you were going through that abuse from that guy, where did that leave you mentally?
Welcome to BBNet Media. Join us for inspiring gospel messages on faith and relationships. Let's explore God's words and His love together for stronger connection with Him. New messages are uploaded regularly on this channel, so please subscribe, like, comment, and share, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date. God bless you.
You know, the kind of cry that I've cried in my life, in my small life. I was always crying and I was always bitter. It built so much anger, resentment, pain, and I pass it through words.
Wow.
Yes, when my words they are poisonous. Now, I was not able to keep good friendships. There are people that I knew that God sent them to my life. I chased them away with the words from my mouth, even with my actions.
Wow.
Yes. You can't, when we are having, this little misunderstanding you and your friend can just have or something, I will finish you with my mouth. I will curse you.
And the relationship would end.
I remember I had a friend, we were really close and everything was going smoothly. And the last thing she said to me was, Ufedo, I don't know what you are dealing with, but you need healing. That was the last thing she said to me in 2020 or 2021. That's the last thing she said to me before we officially broke up. We were having back and forth, talking, issues here and there, and she just told me on the phone, she said, Ufedo, I don't know what you are dealing with, but you need healing. And she said so. So when I came across you, I now remembered what she said to me. It just came to my head. It hit me so hard. And I was like, wow, she was right.
You didn't know you needed it.
I didn't know. But when I started my foundation, even though I did not register, I couldn't afford to register it at the time. And I was carrying placards up and down. I was writing. I was ready to gather ladies down to talk to them.
Wow.
So something was missing. I knew that the message I was passing needs to come with healing.
Yeah.
I did not have it. So I couldn't give what I did not have.
Wow.
So I just sparked ladies and I was talking. But this healing I wanted people or ladies to badly have, I did not have it. So I dropped it one side and I said, I will come back later.
Wow.
In the future. So when you came around and I was watching and I was listening to you, I was crying and I said, this is what is missing. I know it when I see it. I said, this is what is missing. This is what is not there. This is the emptiness.
Yeah.
This is it. I said, once I have it. So I was telling God, I said, I don't know. Maybe the things that Apostle know, help me to know them. Because I need people to hear this. Let people know. There are a lot of people that are going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So I was more concerned about other people getting healing. But I did not focus on myself until you came around.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when I knew that, I need to work on myself. I need to do something. It's bad. So when my fiance came into the picture, his presence too now made me to realize that there is a big difference.
Wow.
He came from a family of love. In fact, when we went to Ibadan to meet his parents and I saw them hugging, holding on to each other, they were praising God, they were praying together. The love was a surprise.
You were shocked?
I was shocked. In fact, I didn't want to leave Ibadan.
Wow.
I didn't want to leave because it was new to me. It was strange.
Wow.
Do you know that, in fact, before we went to Ibadan, when his mother calls him every day, his father calls him every day, how are you? How are you doing? Sheti Jeon. I will get so pissed and angry. Like, why is your mother calling you? Why is your father? Why are your siblings checking? Why are you people checking on each other? Is it normal? Please, I will get so, when I see his mom calling him, the anger will just build in me.
Wow.
Why is your mom? No mom has ever called me.
Wow.
My dad has never.
Wow.
So when I saw that they were calling him, there was so much love to give. I was like, no, this is a red flag. Yes.
You considered it a red flag?
Yes, I said it's a red flag that his siblings, there was so much love. It's not possible. So when we now went to Ibadan and I saw that they were not pretending, there is love here, there is unity here.
Wow.
I was amazed. And now God did something for me.
Yes.
His mom is so in love with me. When she's calling me and she's hugging me, she can just be kissing me and be hugging me and be holding me. And I'm like, wow. In my mind, I'll be crying. I'll be crying like, so this is what I'm missing. She's not my mom. And she has a lot of love to give to me. So I'll now begin to imagine what I have missed from my mother.
Wishing you had that.
Yes, I had that. I do not know what it means to have a motherly love. If you experience it for a while and it goes, you can say, I have an idea. I don't have an idea of what a motherly love or even a fatherly love, what it means.
Wow.
At all. So I remember days I was in so much pain while I was at home because my dad would call me a child of shame, a child of disgrace.
Really?
He would, no blessings at all. They were all curses when he's angry or you do something just little. By maybe you break his glass cup.
Yeah.
Oh, you are cursed.
Wow.
Yes, it was that bad. So there were days that I would just be in the room and I would be crying seriously.
So true.
I took the Bible and I tore my Bible. Wow. I tore because I was a praying child.
Yes.
I was a praying child. I could see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see things before they happen.
Okay.
Now you can be carrying a baby and then I'll just see a flash that the baby falls from your hand. And I'll tell you that baby will fall if you're not careful, and the baby will fall from your hand.
Wow.
So I had a beautiful relationship with God as a child. So I was like, God, why are you letting this thing happen to me? So I took my Bible, I tore my Bible. I said, God, you are wicked. God, you are evil. I started calling God names. I tore my Bible and I threw it. My life was still going the same way. I said, okay, it's better. Just follow God. Whether things get better or not, just you have nothing to lose. Just keep following God. So I went back to God. I apologized and I said, please, I'm sorry. It was pain that made me. And one thing with me, when I'm talking to God, I don't talk like I'm praying. Like I have a conversation.
Rapport.
I sit down and I say, see, God, I know you are here. Do this, do that. And he answers.
Wow.
He answers. When I was with my ex,
The guy that
No.
Okay, the other one.
Yes.
Okay.
While I was with him, I was very bitter. He wasn't hitting me, but I was used to being beaten.
Oh.
So I want him to beat me.
Really?
Yes, I want him to beat me. I would provoke him to a point of getting a knife. Beat me, harm me, do something to me, like beat me. You don't love me, beat me. Like it was so intense. Now he would do a lot of things maybe wrong, and I would want us to, oh yeah, let's fight, let's fight. Beat me. He won't beat me. He'll tell me, he said, I'll rather break up with you than beat you.
Wow.
Yeah. But I just wanted him to beat me because I felt it was a norm. It was correct because of where I was coming from.
You felt that you deserved it.
Yes. That I felt like if I do something wrong, he should beat me. That's the punishment. Maybe for
as a woman.
Yes, should have if she does something wrong. Or maybe when there's a small misunderstanding. And it was when my fiance came into the picture, he made me understand that it is possible to have a relationship and a marriage without stress. He said his parents had it. I said it's a lie. It's not possible. We must fight, oh. I used to say that to him, we must fight. He said, see. So when I'm talking, he looks at me like, Sometimes you say, God, this is not what I want. God, this is not what I want. You say, God, this is not what I want. God, this is not what I planned for. I'll say, calm down. He'll be like, no, this is not what I want. And I'm like, he said, his parents had, in fact, till today, they have a stress-free relationship. No quarrel, no issue. He said his mother has never grumbled. Neither has his father ever screamed on top of his voice. I said it's a lie.
Wow.
So he said that's the type he wants to have. But I now remember I had to search deep inside my heart, and I asked myself certain questions.
Yes.
Is this what you really want? Is this correct? Is this right? Then I now remembered prayers I used to pray as a child. I told God that I want to have a good marriage, a beautiful marriage. I want to love my children passionately. I want to be there for them.
Wow.
Everything I did not enjoy from my mom and my dad, I want my children to enjoy it. I was saying to myself that I want people to look at my children and they are jealous because of so much love I and my husband, we have to give to them. So when he came into the picture again, he started, when you bring a bad water and a good water, you will see how dirty the bad one is. But before the good water comes, you can say, let me manage it. But when the good one now comes, you can see how dirty it is.
Difference.
But you can want the good water. I was willing to manage myself. I say, a man will come and marry me like this and I'll just go. But when he came into the picture, it was clear that I had a big problem. I had a huge problem. And he was very patient with me. He was teaching me. But I would scream. and I would shout. I would talk. I would say a lot of things. And he would just be quiet. He's so scared. At a point, he was so scared of me. He can't say certain things to me. He would be careful. He would be counting his words. Maybe he wants to have a conversation with me. He has to prepare for it and maybe rehearse. And one day he sat me down and he opened everything up to me and said, this is how I've been feeling. I can't talk to you. I can't do this. I can't do that. So when you came into the picture and I said, okay, let's leave the church we are attending and come here. He was so, oh yeah, let's go. Shebi is what will make you progress.
Wow.
I need to change you. Oh yeah, let's go. And that was how.
How has been your journey of healing since then?
Oh, it's been so beautiful. Like I said earlier, every Sunday after service, I would ask him, please, so are you seeing change? Are you seeing difference? And he'd be like, yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of difference. There are times when maybe because we work together.
Okay.
There are days where he will do something to me. The me before.
Yeah.
I will say things like I will curse him. I will say things that
When you say curse, are you saying like literal?
Yes. Yes, I will say it will never be well with you.
Really?
Yes, I will say so. I'll always say that. But he will do something to me now. Something in me will just tell me, calm down.
Yeah.
I can maybe just hear your voice.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's okay. It's not that bad. Just chill, wait. And I'll obey. I'll just be calm. I'll just be calm. Then when he now comes to me, I'll start smiling. But inside of me, when I'm alone, I'll be like, did I just let that thing pass?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Let's go back.
I want to go back. That's, this is not me. This is not me. Me, I will go back. Like, I want to go back. But then I will go back. I will just hear it again. Stop.
Wow.
Stop. Calm down. Go back. It's okay. Relax. Now, is that bad that I don't care who is around? I can fight in your presence.
Before,
not now. I don't care who is available. I don't care. Maybe they are his relatives. You know, they said you just have to. Even if you are the shouting type, pretend. I don't know how to pretend. When people are around.
You grew up, yes, like you said, in a very dysfunctional place. Mom was missing. Dad was not available.
Yes.
You dated a guy that was 7 years ahead of you while you were a teenager, which I want to believe that you did that because you sensed that you could be safe.
Yes.
And this guy turned out to, your first experience of love turned out to be someone that was beating you.
Yes.
From your lecture halls to your hostel to everywhere. So it became a normal thing that you expect that you don't even see embarrassment in anything.
No.
Like anything can let people know what's the problem.
Yes. And how funny it sounds, I was so in love.
With who?
With the abuser.
Sorry?
Yes, I was.
The guy that was beating you.
Yes.
You loved him.
Yes, even with the beating. I was.
After the beating, how do you guys usually end?
My favorite drink is Chivita. He will buy me Chivita and chicken. That's my favorite combo.
When he's done beating you.
Yes, he goes to buy
what
that.
Kind of beating are you? No beating is palatable though. What kind are you talking about?
I'm saying the kicking, the punching, and the kicking, and then I was explaining that, you know, the iron that holds cotton.
Yes.
Yes, he will use it to beat me.
Like wipe.
Yes, I'll have swollen body. He beat me to a point that my eyes became blood-clotted and hair was so black. So I was using glasses, and then somebody saw me on the street say, you don't go follow person husband, the wife don't beat you. Not knowing that it was the man I was dating that was beating me.
Then he buys you Chivita.
Yes, then he brings, when I'm done crying, he brings Chivita and chicken. And then hugs me and pets me. That he's doing this to correct me. He's doing this because he loves me. He wants me to be better. And then, in fact, after each beating, the love I have for him increases.
Could it be that there are women right now who are suffering the hands of abusers?
Absolutely.
Because there's nowhere to run to.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know, one of the reality of coming from a dysfunctional background is that it takes a good man to know that you have no family to fall back to, and will not use that to take advantage of you being alone. And I want to say a big thank you, first and foremost, to your fiance. I just have to say that, because, what you are saying is just so deep. And we cannot tell the number of ladies who are currently going through abuse because the guy feels your family is not treating you any better. You've come a long way. You've journeyed from bitter to sweet. But there's a part also that I want to ask in respect to your relationship.
Okay.
When people who don't have parental figure that they relate with, father, mother, no relationship, usually it is difficult to relate with in-laws. In some cases, either male or female don't even know how to talk to them. Will miss their calls, no remorse. Did you go through that episode?
Yes. I don't like phone calls. Phone calls give me anxiety because I'm not used to people calling to check on me. So when you are calling me too frequently to check on me, I can block your line and tell you that it's network. So it took me time to be able to accept pure love, good love. Even when he came into the picture, I was finding it difficult to love him because he wasn't bringing abuse vibes.
You needed abuse vibe
Yes.
to love.
Yes. So he wasn't bringing it. He was too cool. He was too calm. He was too good to be true. He was too good that I wanted, maybe the pattern I'm used to was trying so much to press a button that maybe will bring that wild. There is nothing I ever did that made him. He has never raised his voice. Sometimes I would be craving for it, but I wasn't getting all of that. So his mom would always call me, not just his mom, to people that are trying to show me love.
Yeah.
I would not take your calls. I will not take your calls. His mom, sometimes his mom will say, Ife, she calls me Ife.
Did I offend Ife?
You said?
Did I offend Ife?
Yes. Did I offend her? Kini Moshe, hope everything is okay. Then he'll tell me that, call her back. I saw the call, but I'll say it's a missed call. Because she just wants to say, how are you? Have you eaten?
I just want to say something to people who are watching right now. Because this is one aspect that God has graced me in. And I want you to understand that usually when people are coming from a traumatic past, particularly background, if you confront such individuals with confrontations all the time, you lose them. Because life is already that hard. So, and it takes quite a level of effort to break in to the point where you accept it. This is really deep.
Yeah. The issues in my family was so much that I got tired and I was looking for ways to just kill myself. So I went to the place where we keep medications, and then I packed, maybe the medication I packed can fill up this place. And I was just swallowing. I didn't know what they were for, but I was just swallowing and swallowing and swallowing. I saw different syrups, I drank them, hoping that, okay, maybe I'll just choke, and then my mouth will foam and I would die because I was alone in the house. I swallowed and I was sitting down.
How old were you when you were doing this?
Maybe 8. Yes.
What?
Yes, around 8. So I swallowed them and I just sat. I was happy because I made this because of the Nollywood movies I've watched, that maybe they will just swallow something and they die. So I was very happy. I said, oh, finally, all this pains will be over and I'll go to heaven and meet God. So I took them and I went quietly. I went to sit on a chair and I just sat and I was waiting that I would die. I just sat, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I didn't feel sick. With the level of medication I swallowed, there was so much.
Wow.
I waited. I was waiting. Maybe I'll cough and choke. I slept and I woke up well. Nothing, no sickness at all. I was so sad and I was heartbroken. I was thinking, okay, what can I do again that I will die? What will I do that I will die? I was just thinking. I said, okay. Now, it was later, years later, I was now like, why did knife not even occur to me? Yeah, years later, I was like, if I badly wanted to die at that age, there was knife. But I don't, at that point, knife did not even occur to me.
Yeah.
Nothing else, just medication, because that was what I was used to seeing in Nollywood that works really fast.
Fast for them.
And I wanted to die without even feeling pains.
Wow.
So I waited and then nothing happened. And I said, okay. And I made a conclusion. I said, well, maybe God just wants me to stay small. So I now told myself, I gave myself a time frame. I said, let me stay small. If I stay from now to this so years and life doesn't get better, I'll just walk on the road and make sure that a vehicle hits me, knocks me down. Wow. So I had that in mind. It was part of my plans. I said, if things do not get better and my dad do not let me leave this house, I will just wait for a day when vehicles are passing. Let me just go so that a car can knock me down, let me die. I had that in mind. No, at age 17. Where, I found solace in speaking with people online. Maybe I was chatting with women, chatting with men, and just telling them what I was going through and all of that. And then I found this guy on Facebook. We got talking and I started calling him uncle. So he was like, wow, you're so smart. You're a young lady, you're smart. I just trusted him. Then it was easy for me to trust anybody. So I trusted him and he was giving me attention. He was always listening to me.
Yeah.
So he was in school. He was in Angba, I think in his final year. When I went to write, I think post-UTME, I don't know which exam I went to write before they admit you into the school.
Post-UTME.
So I went to write that when he invited me to his lodge. So I got there and then sat down and we're talking, blah, blah, blah. So he went to get drinks and biscuit, we ate. And the next thing is this man was trying to have anal sex with me. So I was fighting. No, you can't do that. I was like, no, I should keep quiet. He was trying so hard.
That's very patent.
Yes, he was forcing me. And the only thing I knew I could do, I started praying. To God. He was forcing me. And I've never heard or seen or hear anybody talk about anal sex. So it was even strange to me. So he was forcing his way, and I was praying until I begged him. And I told him, I said, please, if you let me go, God will bless you. Like I was just saying a lot of things and I was crying. Forced me, his grip on me was so tight and I cried bitterly. So when he heard that my scream was getting so loud, then he gave me the key and then I opened the door and I ran out. So I ran out and a year or two later, I was having a chat on Facebook with somebody under the comment section. And he came there to say something abusing to me. And then I said, you that goes about trying to rape young girls. And that was how a blogger picked it and said, though I was quite popular in Kogi because of what I was doing, I was into so many things. I was doing a lot of things. I was doing red carpet hosts. I would talk on air. I was very young, but I was doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So in fact, the pageantry they do for kids, in fact, they made me the head of it. So I was doing a lot of things as a child. So I was popular. So the lady, the blogger, her caption was popular Kogi influencer accuses ... of rape. That thing went viral with my picture.
Wow.
It went viral in the Kogi social media space. In fact, people called me because I had lots of followers on Facebook.
Wow.
So they started calling me, reaching out to me. This is what they are saying. Am I serious? Do I know what rape allegation is and all of that? That time I was with my abusive boyfriend. He saw that and beat Shege. He beat me. That's me. I'm bringing him to social media. I want the whole world to know about him that is living a quiet life. He beat me. Now people drag me. Now they changed. Now when other blogs carried it, they changed the topic and said -- raped Kogi social media influencer. Yes, so that was what was going around and it was bad. This guy in question, he too was also popular and he was with the government. He dragged me. He called me names, said I was a flirt. I came to seduce him. Now, his own response went far, very far, that people gave me a bad name. I was the victim. Nobody sided me. Nobody. But my elder brother did. He did. He sided me to some extent. But the narrative that had been passed was, people will come under my comment section. I can be walking on the road. I hear side talk. In fact, when I was in my previous relationship, and we know sometimes you want to post your partner, they will call him on the phone that you are dating that useless girl, that they've raped her front, back, and center. They did the same to him too.
They did?
Yes, they would chat him, they would call him on the phone and tell him that girl, we know her very well in Kogi, she's a flirt, she does a lot of evil things. This man in question said he was going to sue me, that I lied. I had no defense, nobody to speak for me. In fact, every day he was making different posts about me, describing what I am not. And the people on social media, they picked it. It got so bad that down until 3 years ago, when you type my name on Google, that's what comes up. Yes, that's what comes up when you type my name on Google. So he also paid some bloggers. In fact, they all changed the story. So it was later I learned that maybe he paid bloggers and then they twisted the whole thing. I never even said you did. My comment was, you that goes about trying to rape young people, and they changed the narrative. It was terrible. For days, I couldn't come online. I was crying. It's easy saying it, but no, I went through hell. People shamed me. People abused me. They said I was a liar, that I was just looking for money from him. Guess what? I was 18 years old at the time.
Wow.
Yes, it was a lot. I'm sure my even those that were my friends would want to believe him. He's a very good writer. The story he placed out there was so sweet that even me, I started to believe that I went there to seduce him.
Wow.
But sometimes
wow.
I would just think about it. I would say, no, that's wrong. I will not accept that. It's not true.
And that's quite common with abusers. They have a way of making the victim
look
like the one who caused.
He was a serious manipulator. He manipulated everybody to believe. In fact, people started telling him, so sorry. We are sorry that this young girl could do this to you, to spoil your reputation. In fact, people started making posts apologizing to him publicly. People were apologizing publicly. So each time a rape accusation comes up on social media, people around me will be surprised when I always support the victim, whether it's an accusation or we have evidence or not, because usually there's no evidence for it. So when I'm supporting
there's
abuser,
usually no evidence for it.
So each time I try to support the victim, people will be looking at me like, you can spoil people's reputation. I'm like, I've been there and I know what I'm saying. This guy twisted the whole story. Everybody, down to people close to me that will feed together, they believed this guy. In fact, I've been arrested before. Yes, I had friends that they were influential and their brothers, so I was quite close to them and all of that. So he offended me. I can't remember what he did. Can't remember what he did exactly, but I knew that I was offended and I knew that my anger was justified. So I was angry and I was typing and I cursed him. I said, no, it will not be well with you. You will not be okay. Or is it because you think you have money, you can do this to me? I wrote it and I sent it. And this guy, I was in school, I was in my room and I heard a very loud knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Not normal policemen, no. I don't know what is their... Is it DSS or SSS or I don't know? They came with a Hilux.
Wow.
Yes.
So
5 of them.
How old were you?
Maybe 20 or 19. They came and then they bundled me into their Hilux and drove off. This is somebody that we're very close, like my friend, my paddy, my guy, because of that message I sent. So he called them, they bundled me and then they put me into their Hilux and took me to the station.
Yeah.
And yeah, They didn't put me in the cell. We were somewhere around the counter, and then they sat me down and they were like, what's the problem? And then I explained to them, and then I showed them the text message. Even them, they were shocked there.
That's why...
This is the I've never been traumatized in my life before.
Wow.
Like, I was so scared. Like, I was talking, I was shivering, and I was shaking. So they now asked me, what's the problem? I explained to them, and they were like, okay, this matter no reach now for him to say we should detain you for as long as until he decides. So I called my friends. They came over. They started calling him, calling them. They were begging that they should please let me go. They should release me. He said, no, I'm going to suffer. How can I insult him? How can I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And after a few hours, they released and they said, okay, we could go, but first I should write an apology message to him. And then I did.
Wow.
I wrote the apology message to him, and then we left. For 3 months, I was traumatized. I couldn't get over it. And when I look left, there's a problem. When I look right, there's a problem. I turn my back. Every area of my life, loads of problems around. Everywhere. I had no minute of peace. You see me peaceful, maybe I'm sleeping. I suffered insomnia, had PCOS, my serious migraine. I was not okay, and it got to a point where I was so in pain emotionally that I knew that if something does not happen fast, I was going to run mad. I was this close. I was this close. There were days where I would just sit and I would scream in tears. Like, I would scream, I would groan in anger from my belly. I would scream, and people would just come and hold me. I would just scream. It happens like later I started having palpitation. Later I started using an inhaler. Asthma signs started coming up because I was always crying. I was always crying. And you just see me. Yes, sometimes I would just maybe think of everything that has happened. There are so much that I've not even said. Yeah, that some I can't even remember. A lot of experiences. So it will just come to my head sometimes, and then I'll start having serious migraine. My head will just be banging. And then I'll just cry and I'll say, God, help me. But my life became better when you came into the picture. My life became better when Moses came into the picture. You know, he came and he brought light. He brought life. He brought grace. He brought peace to me. God. You know, when I was finding it difficult to love him because he wasn't bringing trauma and trouble to me, I begged God. I said, you know, how we met was even a miracle. And then I told God, I said, I know that you brought this man to me as my husband. I'm tired of feeling like I don't deserve him. Please teach me to love him. Help me to love this man. And boom. I started to love him. Genuinely. And now my prayer points changed. I said, please help me to keep honoring him, to keep loving him. Don't let me make mistakes at any point. Every bad vibe, he keeps praying for me every day. And I asked him, do you see the result of your prayer and this church we are going to? He said, yes, he's seen the results. I'm like, wow, okay. Even though sometimes deliberately, not just by prayer, sometimes deliberately I will intentionally not want to get pissed. Or I can get pissed, but I'll choose not to take actions. My phone suffers it a lot. When I'm angry, I'll just take my phone and then I smash it to the wall. Because my anger always wants to speak. I always want you to know that you did something. So when the popular bimbo died, she burnt herself in the house and it caught fire.
Which bimbo?
There's IVD and bimbo story. She was married to IVD, and then she got angry. They were having issues and she poured kerosene in the house and the whole place exploded. She died inside. So when people are wondering, how can she do that? In my mind, I say, me, I can do it. So I said, me before, I would do it. So I could relate to what happened to the woman. So people will say it's a mistake. I said, no, it's not a mistake. The that anger comes with both trauma, pain, your experiences, everything, and you just want to mix together. You can't explain. It's there. There's no English you want to use. you can't explain the kind of pain.
What do you mean by is there?
You know, not now anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Not now. It's, you know, I was telling him, I said, I can feel the pain fading away gradually. It's not easy.
Melting out.
Yeah, I told him, I said, please, you need to give me little more time. It's going to work. When you started from functionality to dysfunctionality, and when you were talking about...
And my book is coming out next week on that.
I can't wait to have it.
I can't wait.
So when you were teaching and you were talking about you need to forgive, you need to do this, you were so heavy. I was crying, I was screaming, and that breathing stuff started, and then he held me so much.
Wow.
In fact, people that were sitting behind me, they helped, because we were at the front.
Church.
Yes, people were holding me from the back, touching me, calming me down. I was screaming in pain. That's the first time that I was ready to plate the issue before God, everything. And then I didn't know I had so much problems until you were talking about it. That was when I knew that the thing had eaten me even more than I had realized. Yes. So I was crying in so much pain. And then when you said people should come out, I didn't want to come out. He said, let's go, let's go. I said, no, I don't want to come out. He said, let's go. Then I got up and we came out. You said we should pray. I could not pray. The pain was so much that I couldn't speak. Every single person I've ever trusted had brought me pain. Whether I caused it or not, they had caused me pain. So for my experiences with both individuals, it's so much pain. All I know in my life is just pain, until he now came to the picture.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you came into the picture too. So, and the healing is happening faster than I thought. I was thinking it would take maybe 5 years, 4 years, but in 6 months, the difference was very, very clear.
Praise God.
It was very, very clear.
Praise God.
Yeah. It was very
there's something God taught me, and maybe it's going to help people who are also watching us, to itemize the things that brought you the most pain. Then you put them under 2 categories. One is what you have control over, and the second one is what you don't have control over. Number one, you don't have control over the kind of parent who gave birth to you. You can't choose.
Sure.
You don't have control over the kind of experience you had. Now, the things that you have no control over, choose to have no regret about them. Accept them as the part of life you've gone through for a greater purpose, some that you have found now, some that you will discover later, And because most times the burden becomes weighty to the degree that we are clinging to the things that we have no control over.
Sure.
And for people who are watching us now and have been asking themselves, and if there's anything, I think for me, this particular conversation is the most intense I've had on many grounds, because some men are probably watching this and now they can understand, okay, maybe this is what my wife is going through, or my fiancé, and maybe a woman now, is watching this, and you can now understand, the reason why that person is behaving the way the person is behaving. Or maybe you are the one who is also hurting and you can hear from our story and now you understand. Because one of the reasons why stories are important is that it gives perspective. You look at yourself and you can now understand the reason why you are doing the things you're doing. No, you can be doing things and not even know why, So for the sake of those who are watching us at this moment, if you are going to give a word of wisdom as touching how to heal, which you are experiencing now in fast pace. And I must say that what I'm seeing now, and compared to what I saw when I first met you, the difference is clear. You've come a long way.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see that. What will your advice be for those who need to heal?
Okay. There's something I didn't know before that made my anger intense and lingered, was that this is going to last forever. Now, I accepted the reality that this thing is going to continue. It won't stop. Then I said, this is me. This is how God created me. Please, that is not how God created you. Now, there is an end to it. In fact, 5 years ago, if you tell me I'll have the life that I have now, I'll say it's a lie. It's a complete lie. Now, there is a lie. See, the devil will also feed on your anger. Now, the devil will give you thoughts in your head. The devil will speak to you when you're angry. He will push you. Go, do it, and be able to identify who is speaking to me. At that time, there were a lot of times that I knew that this is not the Spirit of God. To tell me, do this now, go, push. But you also have a will power. There's something called the willpower. I had this so strongly later that when my healing started, he started telling me that, stop, don't do it. Stop, don't do it. When I listened to it, I became better. So you should always listen to that part of you that says, don't go ahead, don't proceed, hold on, wait, there is an end to it. If I can get to this point that I am, I don't care what it is you are going through. You can also get to the end of it. You can also get to the end. I'm a miracle. I know that I'm a miracle, because I would have long been dead if I listened to the voices that played in my head. I would have long been dead. But in fact, Mercy said no. My will, the will to live, the will to teach, the will to also let people know that your experiences do not define you. It is what you make out of it.
Wow. This is, the devil is in trouble. The devil is in trouble. And for some reasons, when I'm hosting my guest, I try not to put out details about them so that they are not targeted for attacks or whatever the case may be. But I think, and I want to say this categorically, that God has given you a word for those who are hurting. And one of the things I look forward to is to see you express it beyond this platform, to give life. You know, the areas we have experienced death the most is also the area where life will flow from the most. You know, people listen to my teachings, and because I still have one more to go this year, which is titled Heal. So I still have one more series on that to go. All right, I plan to do that around my birthday as a gift to the body of Christ, because I couldn't finish them. Now, people listen, and I've seen testimonies, I've seen people break down in tears and say things like, oh God just sent this man to heal us. But what they don't understand is that the healing is coming from the area where I'd experienced the worst form of darkness. You know, like living through your life, I didn't have what I wanted to become in future, because I felt there was no future. I felt I would have died. I was so certain that between this time and this time, I would have killed myself. Like, it was a normal conclusion, no glimpse. You understand what I'm saying? No glimpse of this is who I'm going to marry. I was too certain I would have ended it all. You know, so from that same place, life is flowing. You have so much to offer. Too much. And I want to thank God for you and your journey. And also, I'd like to request for a part 2. And I think this is the first time we are doing that. I'd like to request for a part 2 because we have only touched a part. So now we need to get into the family part. So we're going to be able to talk through. And then when you are ready for that, then we can also have that.
Okay.
And maybe by the time we are having that part 2, it's going to be on the other side. You and your, okay?
Yeah.
All right, wait for the gist later. I want to
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for watching BBNet Media. May the inspiration and knowledge you have received today stay with you throughout your week. If you've been blessed by this message, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all our latest inspirational content. Join us next time for a more uplifting messages on faith and relationships. Until then, keep walking in faith and remember that God is always with you, guiding and directing your path. Thank you once again for watching. God bless you richly.